All right, guys, let me show you what I did to hook my aftermarket amp directly to the factory amp. All right, so the first thing I just want to show you, I just kind of got it right here. I actually took it off, and I'm just about to go through the process again just to show you. This right here is the what is this? Hold on. And then right here, first I'll just show you this. First, my bike was in an accident. I think it's totaled. Then I just spoke with the insurance company. I think it's a total loss. So that's why I'm just taking this out and I'm just hook it up like it was on the factory. Then there was another amp in the back. But so with this, I just took that panel off, and this is the NVX, what they call this thing, line out converter. It turns speaker wires into RCAs, and I have it right here. That's only because when I took this panel off right here, I needed access to these gain controls. So this is where you're going to put it. You're going to put it right here. Let me just move it out the way so you can see what it's sitting up against. So what I just had like a piece of Velcro on the back, just stuck it right there, and I put a zip tie around it. I just took the zip tie off earlier, but that's how I had it connected, right? And then that's the RCAs, and these RCAs going up here, and I just show you that right now. Most of these things are disconnected already. Like this is, I took all the screws out so I can just pull it out the way. So that's out. Let me just put it to the side. This is already connected. And this is where I had my amplifier. Now, on the Venture, I don't think it'll work because they have this automatic screen that go up and down. And I'm only assuming that there's a mechanism right here. But for the Eluder, they got 4 screws that I took off earlier. That went right there so I can raise it up. Screw it back down. I put like a little piece of rubber right here, a little piece of rubber right there, and that's just the little vacuum hose I split down the middle and just kind of taped it to these pieces of these brackets. But the amp is stationary, and these are those RCA lines that you saw down there. They're really short, maybe 16 inches, if that. And then these are the speaker wires. I went directly from the amp to each speaker, right? And I'll show you what I did for the rear speakers. So those are the rear speakers. Those are component there. That's the high. And then on the other side, it was the same thing. That's the high. And I had the crossovers in here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a crossover in here. And then what I did was I had I made a harness. So when I took my saddlebag off, everything was just one big plug. All right, so let me get back to this. So this is what I think I want to show you guys how to hook it up. All right, so here's your factory amp right there, okay? Let me make sure you can see that. So that's your factory amp right there. This is the front of the bike, right? So you see these 2 harnesses? The one in the front is the one that you're gonna deal with. And I'm gonna show you which wires are for speakers, right? And I also have it right here. So this is this plug right here. Of course, all these are filled in too, but I didn't see the need to name all these wires or color code them. But the first 4 towards the front of the bike is white, white, black, gray, gray. And then if you have a Venture, it's the first 4 after that first one, after this gray one, right? So counting from the front, it'll be 1, which is for your front speakers, and then for the rear speakers, it'll be plug 2, 3, 4, and 5. Starting from the front of the bike and at the bottom of the harness. So the first one at the bottom first one is the gray one. That's for the top speakers, your front speakers. The second plug is going to be a rear speaker, rear speaker, rear speaker, rear speaker. So starting from the front is 1, which is the top, and then it's the ones you need for the rear is, space 2, space 3, space 4, space 5. And then after that, you got a red, and I think that's the red with a blue or something. You got a plug, and then you got a black. So, after that, you got two red wires and a plug. But, and I'm assuming, I'm not sure, but just going by standard speaker colors, if this was a Venture, this would either be purple, black, green, black, and green, or vice versa, green, black, purple, black, and green, because those are the standard speaker colors. But these are the speaker wires right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the front, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 for the rear. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this right here, adjust it so we can see the whole thing. Okay, and now I'm going to show you how you get it out. So you just unplug it, you turn it over, and there's this white locking mechanism. You push that in, you're going to feel a little click. And now, actually all these wires will pull out. So just be careful. Just pull out the speaker wires. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you may need a little pin to push these plugs out. So that you see, this will be the first one that you already pulled out. But then you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the second, third, fourth, and fifth at the bottom from the front of the bike. And what you do is you just replace it with these. So 2 white, gray. I'm sorry, white, black, gray, black, and gray. Now, if you have 4 speakers, if you run it, or you have a Venture, or you run the speakers in the back, then you're going to start off with purple, black, green, black, and green, or vice versa. Start off with green, black, purple, black, and then purple. And the way you put them in there is the same way you took them out. You just kind of carefully put them. So let's start off with white. Make sure it's seated all the way in there. Let me just get these out the way. But hold on, let me start again. Let me just get these out the way right quick. Make sure they just not in the way. All right, so now let's start off with all the front speakers. So those are the full front. All right, and I'm giving the order they go: white, black, gray, gray. All right, and so you just get them in there. All right, and then you just get them all the way seated. Do you hear a little click? Click. And then you check to see if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it, but you should be able to see the silver part right here. All right, now then, and you just do the same for the bottom. Remember, you start off with the solid color and then the solid color black, right? Those two, the solid color blacks, should be in the middle. Right, and they go at the bottom, right? And so I'm just going to get these in. I'm going to start off with the purple. Okay, hold on, I'm going to start off with the purple. So purple, solid purple. right there. All right, so that's the second one. Then the third from the front. Then I'm going to the green, fourth from the front. And then the solid green, fifth from the front. And then you see how I got that red one and the red one? Okay. So, and I don't know if this, after the two red ones, that this is the plug on the Venture. That might be another option the Venture have that the Eluder don't. And so you just kind of make sure you get them all the way seated in there. What I do to make sure I get it seated is, I'm gonna just, let me sit this somewhere. I take, the easiest way to do this is I would just kind of take this right here. But what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna just try to stick this in here, and hopefully the weight of that'll work. All right. So what I do is I just kind of lightly touch it with this, and then use my thumb to push it in. Okay. Lightly grab it, thumb to push it in, and do each and every wire like that. Lightly grab it. Don't tighten it too hard where you're going to put a hole in the wire, but just use your thumb to push it in. And you just do that for each of the wires. So I did the 3 right there. Let me get this one I didn't do before I pass it on up. Here we go. All right, and so once you got all the wires pushed in, what you do is you're just going to click this back down. And it'll tell you if it's not all the way in, because it's not going to be able to go down. These gonna only go down when all these wires are seated further enough. And that's basically how you let me take them back up. That's basically how you'll put that in. Okay, so you see how they just come out? You just slide them right out. Right out. Yeah, only do one at a time. It looked like I had those mixed up. I should have started with the purple, then purple black. All right, and so what I'm going to do is, because I'm taking the stuff out, I'm gonna just go ahead and stick the factory speaker wires back in there. So white, black, and you're gonna know the speaker wires because they're thicker than all the other wires. If you have the Venture, the Eluder, like the 4 speaker wires you're gonna be thicker than all the other wires. And if you have the Venture, the 8 speaker wires you have should be thicker than all the other wires. Now, you see how easy that's going back down? Yeah, it just snapped on down, right? It does even. All right, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna plug this back up. And that's it. Now it's back to how it was factory. And with this, I just, put a piece of Velcro at the back. Let me show you. Let me move this a little bit so you can see it. With this, I just put a piece of Velcro at the back, and then a zip tie that went around this. And have it where you can see these holes, because now you can, once you see these holes right here, you can take this panel off right here and have access to this and kind of control the gains. That's the gains, these little holes right here. All right, so I'm just taking this out. And this is basically the part right here. This is big. Let me put it on the ground so you can see it. That's basically it. Right there. What is that? NVX. An NVX like Y converter or something to that effect. But that's basically what it is. And if you want the part number, XFLOCA, adjustable line output converter. So that's what it is, the output converter. It turns speaker wires into RCAs so it can connect directly to an amp. All right, and so this, I'm going to, it'll come with this though. But that's basically what we have there. And see those speaker wires, that's them right there. The amp was right here, and let me see if I can just show you how easy the amp was to take out. Okay, so, and I'll show you how I ran the the wires for the amp. And so once you unscrew these wires, right, these bolts right here, there's 4 silver bolts. Once you unscrew them, this will slide up a little bit, and you can just basically slide the amp out. Right, and just put it right back down. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the amp to the side. These are my speaker wires. This is the harness that came with the amp. I ran each wire directly to the speaker, and I just connected it to the harness. This is my power, my ground, my power, my turn on. My ground was connected to this thing right here, the thing that holds up the mirror. And I'll just show you how I had the power wire. So basically, this is what I had right here. I already took the fuse out. So that's basically what I had right there. And to get it in, I just drilled a hole right there. Bought a like a vacuum line hose that allowed the 8-gauge wire to go through it. And then I just that's how I got it. That's how I got it in here. So you can see it went through here, through there, and it is connected to the amp right there. Right here, went under that. So I got 8-gauge wire inside this loom. This is like loom. This is a vacuum line right here. A vacuum hose with the 8-gauge wire going through it. All right, so good enough.